Hello, everybody. This week's review will be Who Framed Roger Rabbit, directed by Robert Zemeckis, starring Bob Hoskins as Eddie Valiant, Christopher Lloyd as the dastardly Judge Doom, Joanna Cassidy as Dolores, who was Valiant's girl, and directed by Robert Zemeckis. And I can say for the '80s, Zemeckis knocked it out of the park, and some of the '90s with Zemeckis. Just knocking it out of the park with both the Back to the Future trilogy, Forrest Gump, and this here film I'm reviewing right now, Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I mean, how can you not like this movie? I mean, it's got something for everybody: action, comedy, romance. I mean, I mean, who didn't like Jessica Rabbit? I mean, she was not bad. She was just drawn that way, especially with a whole ultimate hybrid of live action of animation. When you got Detective Valiant, who's who's supposed to be like the detective to the stars, and investigating he's supposedly investigating an affair between Jessica Rabbit and Margaret Atme when it was not when it was a fake when it was a stage to in an attempt to kill off Acme by Judge Doom. I gotta admit, Judge Doom for us, you gotta admit, his ultimate case of the self-hating tune to make himself look like a human, and then they always didn't know until he always wore sunglasses, yet always had to. Yet for somebody who hated tunes, he had to enlist the help of weasels, who of course were tones. And I gotta say, man, I mean, they were funny for bad guys. I mean, funny how they did like the animation live action hybrid where they were able to have them hold real guns, and then of course you got with that scene with the sequences with where Valiant whips out that gun with a cartoon gun that Yosemite Sam gave him. And I gotta admit, when it comes to the cameos, this one's got tons of them. I mean, the only film where excuse me, where you got both Warner Bros. And Disney characters and some other various cartoons. Like, for example, you get a Woody Woodpecker cameo, Betty Boop cameo, Droopy cameo, which has got to be the most expensive cameo crossover to ever been made. Because you know how Warner Bros. And Disney love their royalties, and and talk about how much of a dastardly bad guy Judge Doom was, especially when you find out that he was the tune that killed Valiant's brother. Man, a masterpiece like this should never be remade. Even though I hear rumor there's a sequel going on, but I'm not sure how that's going to play out in this day and age. Although, if they're really going to do a sequel, Detective Valiant should be this time around should be Bruce Campbell or Ryan Reynolds when it comes to comes to comedic comedy roles. But I mean, come on, talking about a film that is for kids, but not for kids at the same time. When you got like the smoking baby, the extremely sexualized Jessica, and of course that oof, of course with some cussing scenes, and a certain you listen close and you miss it of Daffy Duck calling, Donald calling Daffy to a certain you know what word. when which if you when you talk about in that hilarious scene, and Benny the Cab talking about one of the more epic car chases in films when he got that one, and the whole deal of Marvin Acme talking about played by a guy named Stubby K. And I can say, that's a funny name for an actor. And the whole plot of Judge June wants to, and Cloverleaf Internationals wants to destroy Toontown to build a freeway. Man, kind of like no one. Kind of like good thing it took place in the 40s, because that's what made where it made sense. And of course, gotta mention some epic voice cameos, like as Patrick Buttram, aka Mr. Haney from Green Acres, as one of the bullets from the Yosemite Sam gun. And I always find it weird and how the baby at the beginning, which the cartoon was all smoking and such, because for when it's supposed to be drawn to look like a girl, but with a bow and everything, but talks like a dude. Man, only in the 80s with that smoker voice and all. I was saying, if it was made today, it would have been that baby would have been smoking a blunt. And you gotta give it old Christopher Lloyd as Judge Jim, because when it came to the 80s, he knocked it out of the park. Even in some flops like the Lone Ranger movie where he was Butch Cavanagh, which that and this is pretty much were some of his best villain performances ever, alongside being the iconic Doc Brown in Back to the Future, also directed by Zemeckis. And of course, back to the cab. Got him being at the cab talking about funny car that is, and then back to Judge Doom and his dip thing. It was like, I want a plot hole where it's like the only thing that killed Toon, except how, of course, those weasels died of laughter, literally. Makes you think, could they die? The only way they could laugh, all the tunes were designed to laugh, and humans, and it's hard to make the tunes laugh while and all. Man, and talking about, man, I gotta say, Roger Rabbit. I mean, it's got to be a 5 out of 5 masterpiece, and I mean the ultimate flawless one at that too. I mean, with the ultimate voice chemistry between Roger Rabbit and Valiant, and played by the late great Bob Hoskins. Man, he knocked it out of the park with this film. Just like what Zemeckis did with directing. Overall, Who Framed Roger Rabbit gets a 5 out of 5. Enjoy, people.